Hey, good morning. Welcome to part 2 of this Splat creative type. We're going to continue. Well, last time where we were here, we were creating this curves adjustment layer over here. We're going to create a new adjustment layer this time with levels. So let's go back to our layer and we're going to apply a new adjustment layer at levels. Make sure that we have the Splat layer selected over here on our layers palette. Alright, we're going to take a look at our layers one more time. We're going to make a correction. To apply the adjustments layer, notice if we close the eye down on some of these layers, that is our curves adjustments. This is our splat copy where we applied the chrome effects and the bevel emboss. And here is our splat. Notice if we close the eye down on here, it doesn't change too much. So we need to make the change to this layer and not this layer. That was the mistake that was happening before. So the splat copy here is where we want to apply the adjustment layer. Click image, adjustments, layer, new adjustment, and then levels. And all you need to do is click OK and just play with the slider bars. What you want to do is create an effect that looks like the highlights are pretty clear, the lowlights, the shadows are coming through, and we're reducing the midtones slightly. So we're going to take this up. Notice how the highlights kind of increase. Move the slider bar to about, I don't know, play around with it till you get a good effect. You want it to look like water. You can darken some of those shadows. You want it somewhat subtle. Okay, click OK when you think you have it good. I have my settings at 85, 1.35, and then 225. You can try to set those settings the same to get the same effect. Click OK. Next thing we're going to do is put this against the black background. So let's just make a new layer and move it just above our background layer. Select all on this new layer, Apple A, or select all. We're going to fill this with black. Fill with black. Okay, when we made a black background, we could not see any change, right? We have some things in the way. So we can close the eye down on that, but we want to still see the curves applied. So what we have to do is merge these layers together. Notice something. When we merge these layers, I'm going to hold down, click on one, the bottom one, hold down Shift, click on the top one. That'll select all of them together. I'm going to now Apple E, or layer, merge layers. Okay, Apple E, there it is, Apple E. And notice now we have one layer that says curves 1 over a layer of black. And you can see how this is starting to look like this ripple effect and kind of water type. Okay. I had to do some changes. I wanted to go and I'm going to step backwards because I wanted to go and adjust my adjustment levels layer. So double click on that. If you want to adjust it, all you got to do is double click on it and notice now my new settings 159, 1.35, and 211. That gave me more darks and less lights, and I kind of wanted that to show through over the black. It was just too gray before. Okay, so make those adjustments, see what you like better, and all you got to do is double click on this layers or this adjustment layers, and then play around with that slider bar and change it a little bit. So when you have the layers, the levels where you at it, where you like it, click on the top layer, hold down Shift, click on Splat.
John Warren, please come to the counseling office. John Warren, please come to the counseling office.
Apple E, or layer, merge layers once again. and that'll merge them together. And now we have our 3 layers. We can close this eye down and get ready for the next step. Okay, here's where it gets a little bit more fun. We're going to use the layers filter, or sorry, the liquefy filter, and then we're going to go to liquefy, and this is going to be kind of fun. We're going to bloat this thing and make this look like a puddle. Let me zoom in on this and see what we're talking about here. Alright, you can scroll out this corner for our liquefy options. Make it as big as you want it. Now liquefy, what it's going to do is it's going to help us, well, liquefy it. It's going to help bloat some of make the ends look like puddles, make some areas skinnier. We're going to try to really make this look like water. Okay? So here are our option tools over at the side here. This one is the forward warp tool. You can just test out any of these and see what they do, but that'll just kind of push the object around. Reconstrain tool, that'll kind of take it back to where it was before. Twirl clockwise, it'll twirl the object. Pucker tool, it will well, it'll kind of bring everything in. It'll kind of squeeze everything. The bloat tool is what we're going to use first, and that's going to make everything look bloated and fatter. Okay, so the bloat tool, let's put some settings on here, and we'll just play around with this. Brush pressure can be at about 80. I mean, 83 is fine is what I have here, but let's just take it down to 80. Brush density, oh, that's good. Let's bring this up a little bit more to like 93. Brush pressure. Whatever. Okay. Brush size, 90 is fine. Let's just try it out. Let's just try to round out some of these things. Now this font wasn't great. I mean, it has some. Try to find a font initially without the hard edges, the curves and things. Well, what we could do is we could warp it, push it a little bit. If you find like you have a weird kind of hard edge, you can take these other tools and play around with it. Turbulence, let's see what that does. Okay, it just kind of moves it. And that'll help on your sharp edges. Like I have a sharp edge here on this A. I don't want that. So I'm going to fix that. I'll try the pucker tool on them. Yeah, that's not gonna. You can always step backwards. Try to make that was a nice water drop right there, water droplet. Try to make them look like water droplets if you can. Okay, and then take the pucker tool, try to constrain some of these other areas a little bit, make it just a little bit uneven, you know, because water as it splats on the table is not going to be even. It's going to be just very random. It's a random occurrence. It's Alright, let's see what else we got here. Turbulence tool, we kind of played around with that. Freeze mask tool. The freeze mask, what it does is if you can like put a freeze on it and then apply a different setting and it won't apply it to that red area. That's kind of a mask. It's a protected area. So I could do, if I didn't want anything applied to this and I wanted to do it down here, like a bloat or something, it won't be applied up here. Okay. And here's my eraser for that. You can just erase it. There's your hand to move around the screen, and then your zoom tool. Alright? So this is pretty good. Once again, I'm not really happy with this because of my initial font that we used, but you know, you could try it again. Click OK, and there's the liquefy. Okay? And it's going to alter your image slightly. You can do much more with liquefy, but there's just kind of an intro for you. Alright? And you just apply that to your curves layer, which is fine. Next step, and close to the final step, is to put in this final background layer. This will be located in the assignment drive under Creative Type folder. Okay. So what we're going to do is select all, Apple A, we're going to cut it, or Apple X, edit, cut. We're going to take it into our Splat document and paste it in, Apple V. We may need to resize it. Okay, Apple T is the transform, or edit, transform, scale. Okay, we're going to scale it. Hold down Shift to constrain the size and drag out the corner. Okay, double click when you think you have it good. What we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this layer. We're going to drag it down to the copy paper, so we have 2 of them. Alright. We're going to apply a blur to this layer with filter. Blur, we'll just give it a slight Gaussian blur, like that at 15 looks fine. Okay, do that same thing to this layer. If you want to apply the same blur, click on layer 2, go to filter, Gaussian blur, or Apple F, and that'll apply the same blurred filter to there. Okay, now let's go back to our curves layer, and well, let's move this below it actually. Okay, and then on this layer what we're going to do is apply a soft light to it. Alright. Now what we're going to do is select all on the curves 1, Apple A. We're going to cut this, Apple X, there it goes, and we're going to paste it onto this, actually onto layer 2. We're going to paste it on there. Okay. Well, that didn't really happen, did it? Well, for some reason I'm not getting the same results as the tutorial. Could be just because of the size of our type, the different type we're using. Could be the files aren't the same. But what I've done is I applied a soft light to these 2 background layers, copies. You can notice the soft light blending mode. I'm going to move this one above. But notice it's just too white. It's just not showing through. So I'm going to have to problem solve this and get back to you. Try to get this far if you can, and we'll try to resolve this live in class. Okay, well, good luck, guys.